toute la vie de la F1. Tous les grands prix sur Facebook, page News F1.
I feel like 91.
Yeah, okay, it's fine. When you were a child, did you dream to be anything else besides a racing driver?
No, not a child. When I was 10
Yeah?
or 11 maybe, I went to Brands Hatch, watched the Grand Prix, and that's when I thought, now I want to be a Grand Prix driver. But I was already karting,
Okay.
so at that point. So then, yes, I wanted to be Formula 1 because that was the top.
Okay. And how did you come to love motorsports?
Just through, I used to holiday in England. My uncle used to run the holiday go-kart track, and that's how I started karting through that. And then I seemed to be fast enough, and I enjoyed it. And I think once you enjoy something, then you start to love as well. And I fell in love.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what are your best memories in go-kart and on 3000 and in your victory at Le Mans?
Yeah. Well, karting I think is always the races I've got. Oh, okay. All right. Great. Thanks. It was good to do the British Championship wins that I had, but I learned a lot about myself and a lot about being able to race, and that's what I used when I got to Formula 3000 later. And I could use 3000 was closest to karting.
Yeah.
I think Formula 1 was a bit higher, Formula 3 was too low. But Formula 3000 I think was quite similar, and I could use my karting experience to be fast in a Formula 3000. Then I had the accident, and that was a little bit different, but I always had the mental strength to try to come back. It was never, it's finished.
Yeah.
It was always try to come back. And then in Formula 1, when I got the chance, then it was my first race in Rio, where I was still on crutches, where I finished fourth. And that saved my career in Formula 1, to be honest. So I was lucky I never gave up.
Lucky and after you crash.
After the crash.
Too, yeah.
Yeah.
And you run for prestigious English teams.
Yeah.
So Benetton, Tyrrell, Lotus, Stewart,
Yeah.
Jaguar. And McLaren missed you in your chart.
Yeah.
Yeah. And have you had an opportunity to run for them?
Yeah, I met Ron in 90, I think it was the end of 95 for 96.
Yeah.
And I went to Woking and I met Ron there, but it just didn't, it wasn't the right time for me or for Ron or McLaren. And then I went to Sauber, and I enjoyed that experience at Sauber. It was good for me after a little bit of difficult time with Schumacher and Benetton.
Yeah.
And it was a good family team, which today is still the same. We had some good success here in Monaco in '96, and then we had a good car in '97, and we had some good results there. Third in Hungary, I remember, and it was a good time. But yeah, I'd love to have been with Williams as well. But when I had my accident in Formula 3000, Frank was there on the Sunday to talk to me after the race, but I crashed, so I never saw him. So,
Hospital.
yeah.
And what choice of team have you regret and missed opportunity?
No, nothing really. I don't think I had any choices that I feel I could have, maybe I should have chosen. I remember at the end of '95, there was talk about Jordan when they had the Yamaha engine, and I didn't go there. I went to Sauber, and actually the Yamaha engine was not very good. So actually that worked out very, very well for me. But there was no team that I wish I hadn't gone to.
Did you see much difference between today's racing drivers and those of yesterday?
Generally not. I think they're all very, very similar mentality-wise. The only thing we have maybe today, because of the tyre situation, is the drivers saying, we cannot drive at 100%. But if I go back to 1991, when I was driving for Mazda at Le Mans, we drove at 100%. But when we did Formula 1, you did qualifying at 100%, and the race was maybe 90%, because you had to look after the tyres. So the difference is not so big for me. I think the tyres are maybe a little bit more difficult, but we still see the best drivers winning the races anyway. So I think the change of 91 In sports cars, that's no different today. Sports cars, you still have to push very hard.
Yeah.
And Formula One is changed from maybe the Schumacher years of the tyre being a qualifying tyre all the way through the race. Or not a qualifying tyre, but a tyre that didn't have any degradation. And today we have a different way of having to feel the car. And I think it's the guys that can feel the car that get the most from the car. It's not every single Formula One driver saying the tyres are bad. It's just that some who find it more difficult maybe than Fernando and Kimi, for example. And even the guys like Sebastian, who complained in Barcelona 4 stops was crazy and everything else, he won in Malaysia with 4 stops. He didn't complain in Malaysia, so it's normal. It hasn't changed.
Is it easier mentally to drive now
No.
that they are safer? The car is safer than
No,
before?
not really, because the safety was never really an issue. Even back in the early 90s, you knew there was a danger. There is still a danger today. It's less, but there's still a danger. But you never drove to the danger
you don't
level.
Think about that.
No, not at all. So that hasn't changed. I don't think at all.
Okay. And would you like to drive today's Formula One rather than those of the past?
Yeah, well, I was lucky. I tested a turbo, which was really, really good. I didn't race a turbo, but that was good. Then I liked the early days of like 1991, 92, where the cars were big and fat tyres, and that was a good time.
93.
Yeah, sorry?
My favorite car is 93.
93.
The Williams.
Oh, okay. Yeah, exactly. So,
Very good.
they're interesting because you have the KERS you have to do, there's the DRS you have to do, and you have to keep adjusting. I was involved with the active suspension, and we still had to do changing things like that. It's a little bit more complicated, but it's no different than when you first drive the car. Once you understand it, it's second nature, it's not a problem. So they do more work. Is it a problem? No, I don't think so.
And which track will you remove, and which track do you think is missing from Formula One?
Track to move.
Valencia.
Well, Valencia's not there now, so.
Yeah.
Well, the only one is back Nürburgring. I don't know. The only one that probably it would be nice to have back is Turkey. I always thought Turkey was a really good, different track. Very tough. A lot of fast corners, a lot of technical slow corners. You could overtake. So everything used to work. It's a shame that we don't have Turkey. Maybe in the future it would be nice. And for the rest of the new circuits, it's difficult because they all are different and they all have positive ways. I don't think at the moment there's anything that I would say is bad. You know, a lot of people don't like Korea because it's sort of where it is, and it's on the outside of an old shipping yard, and it's in Mokpo. But I find it not a problem, to be honest. But that's if you do it. If there's race fans that go, there's not so many that go as race fans to the circuit. So everybody else talks about sort of Korea. But for me, I'd like to have Turkey back.
Okay.
And then that would make the 20, which is fine.
Cost reductions is necessary in Formula One.
Yeah.
And
Never works.
Do you think we should to give up the monopoly tyres makers as Pirelli and return to a competition between different manufacturers?
Yeah, well, that's always the problem with
like Michelin,
which has changed. Is in the old days you used to have the battle was free, but now because of some of it has a lot to do with safety. They don't want the battle where they go with these tyres. I think it's good as a driver. As far as the cost cutting goes, Formula One teams generally never ever save. Whenever they have another direction to try, which now is like simulators, then they spend the money on the simulator. And if it's not the simulator, now it's the CFD with the computers. So it will always go somewhere else. They don't test on a track, but they spend it on the simulator. And it's not you buy one simulator and is the simulator. That simulator lasts 1 year, maybe 2, and then there's a new one. And it's like a computer. When it's new, it's okay. In 1 year's time, it's old. So you have to get a new one. So that's always a cost. that goes with it. Wind tunnels, you know, Sauber had their BMW, which cost 80 million euros. You know, like you could do testing with that. So cost cutting is a difficult one to control. And have the budgets come down? Not so much. I haven't gone up maybe as much, but the actual budgets maybe have stayed similar.
And do you support the return of special tyres for qualifying to give greater attention for Q3? The last part.
Say again? Say again.
Do you support the return of special tyres?
For qualifying tyres?
Yeah, for the last part of the... Yeah, for qualifying, but
Yeah.
especially for the last part.
I don't think it's
Because
a problem.
now he's just one lap. And
Yeah, but
that's it.
qualifying tyre we won.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't change anything. I don't think it's a problem of doing the top 10. They have to push hard.
Yeah.
And the tyre they fin. The problem is if the tyre they finish with, if it's a qualifying tyre, you can't use it in the race. So, but it's an extra cost for the tyre manufacturer. It's the cost that comes back into it. So I think it works now. You know, I used to like the 1 hour, solid 1 hour, but you used to do a little bit of changing. You put one set on, you did a time, then you did a little change, and then you did one more go at the end. Maybe you did 3 sets, but normally you did just 2 sets. And that was quite good because for the driver, you was always getting faster and faster and faster. Now the pressure is a bit higher, it's a bit more difficult because it is the 1 lap. But it's not a problem. These are the best. They're supposed to be the best in the world, so they should be able to do that with no problem. I think it's quite good what we have at the moment. Qualifying tyres, no.
Since the withdrawal of manufacturers, Renault, Honda, Toyota,
Yeah.
and
Ciao. Oh no, you're coming back.
can returning as a partner engine be favourite with the rise of small teams like Lotus, Sauber, Force India?
Right, say the question again. Say again.
Oh, okay. Since the withdrawal of manufacturers, can returning as a partner engine
Yeah.
be favourite with the rise of small teams like Caterham, Marussia?
Well, it can be because they have the same engines. They are the same, effectively. So it should be better for them.
Like Marussia and BMW or no costless, another engine.
Another engine.
Yeah.
I like the Honda.
Honda.
Now the Honda is back.
Yeah.
For next year. So
Yeah.
it's as it is now. It helps the smaller teams because they have the same engine as a Mercedes or McLaren will have the Honda.
Yeah.
So does it make it more competitive for them? No, because the problem is the teams, it's aerodynamics and the technical side, which that's the big thing. It's not just the Mercedes have a good engine, they have a good car for 1 lap.
Yeah.
But they don't have a good race car. So even Mercedes, with all its experience, still cannot make it work. So that's something that having another manufacturer would help, but only that's on the supply. Only supply. So if someone came back again, I don't know, VW or Audi, but I don't think so.
So you enjoy to Honda?
Yeah, well, I think it's good. It's always good that they come back. They have a good history in Formula One. They have a good history in McLaren.
That's my question. What do you think about the new association?
Yeah, no, well, I think it's good.
McLaren and Honda.
Yeah, it's good. Does it mean they will be successful? Maybe not.
Yeah.
It's not a guarantee
Yes.
at all. So
Maybe.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Just carry on.
If you were another driver.
Yeah, you just ask, no problem.
Yeah. If you were another driver.
Yeah.
Italian
Yeah.
1995. Oh yes, yeah.
Sorry, if I was another driver,
Yeah,
who would I be?
Another driver.
Yeah, who would I be?
Yeah.
I think I would like to be James Hunt.
Yeah. Okay. An animal?
An animal? I think a lion.
A lion. Okay.
Yeah.
A car?
A car? I think a McLaren.
McLaren. A track?
A track Monza.
Formula One team?
Williams.
Yeah. A star? star?
I don't know stars.
Okay.
The moon.
Tom Cruise, the moon. Okay.
Yes.
The moon. A film?
Huh?
A film?
A film?
Yeah.
Caddyshack.
Caddyshack. Okay. If you can contribute to another sporting event that has nothing to do with racing.
Yeah. Another sport.
Yeah.
Golf.
Golf. If you were to come back to the very beginning of your career, what would you change?
I would change my starting position at Brands Hatch in 1988.
Okay. Keep a single moment of your career and change another one.
Probably probably maybe difficult one. Doesn't have to be a race win.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be a race win. No, I'd probably change. I'd love to have Monaco.
Yeah.
On my list.
Monaco.
Yeah.
What year? The year?
Probably 97.
Okay. Mixed question. Your favorite meal?
Pasta Italian.
Very good choice. Your favorite drink?
Probably Red Bull vodka.
Red Bull vodka. What do you like in France?
The wine.
The wine?
Yes.
Okay.
Probably
Do you
the
have
women.
a name
Probably the
of
women.
wine?
No.
No.
I can't remember the name of it. No, I have one, but I've forgotten the name.
Okay. What French athlete do you like?
French athlete.
Yeah.
I used to like Amélie Mauresmo.
Okay.
I used to like her.
If one day you offered an opposite position on a Formula One team, what would you accept?
No.
No?
No.
At all?
No.
Okay. Which of the four French engaged driver do you see or predict to be champion in 10 years?
Well, I'd hope it would be Jean-Eric
Okay.
Verne. I'd like to see.
And your pronostic for the world champion this year?
This year, I still think Sebastian Vettel.
Okay. Can you tell me something in French?
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Comment allez-vous? S'il vous plaît, café au lait. Por favor.
That's what it's
I know that's not. I know that. I know.
Okay, so
That's it. Yeah. I don't think there's anything. No, that's all my French.
okay.
I think I finished. Yeah, I finished my French.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
thank you so
It was
much, Johnny.
shit, yeah. No
Thank
problem
you.
at all. That's okay. No problem.
La vie de la F1, tous les grands prix sur Facebook, page News FM.
I feel like 10, 91.